What is up, guys? This is Damon from Transformed Gaming, back with part 3 of my Ascension playthrough. Now, for anyone who hasn't seen the first two parts, you're gonna want to watch them, or you won't know what is going on. Because I recorded them right before this, and I don't even know what's going on, okay? But a quick recap for people who did watch them and just might need a refresher. So we're following the doctor, the scholar, and the escort on their way into the zone, away from the hierarchy. This is a dystopia with a lot of proper nouns. The zone has these gravity wells, and there's this thing called psychosilver, which apparently burns you and stuff, and is apparently very valuable. And basically the zone is a place where you're not allowed to go. Now, something at near the very end of the last video that I thought about but forgot to comment on was they mentioned masks that the hierarchy thought would help, but turned out to be little more help than just, comfort and stuff. So, now, I could be very, very wrong about this, but I think that the zone... Oh, and they also implied that it was the result of a disaster or accident. So I think that the zone might be the result of a psychosilver version of Chernobyl or something. 'Cause it rains psychosilver. So that's just my theory. I could definitely be very wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. And when we left off, the escort was saying it only gets worse from here, as they handed the doctor and the scholar some dried food rations. That's not reassuring. Though I reckon both of you want it worse, right? Silence. The night passes. By the time morning dawns again, the traces of the storm have all faded. They exit the bunker. The psychosilver seeps into the soil, the radiation and alteration soaking through beneath their feet. They settle into a familiar routine, the slow walk forward interspersed with returns and changes in direction, sidestepping and reversing and returning over and over. The progress is beyond slow. The doubling and redoubling eats away their daylight hours far, far too quickly. The doctor appears tense, anxious with how long it takes to get barely a few miles. How many other bunkers are there like that? If another blowout hits us, I'd like to know we've got shelter. We seem to be walking closer and closer to their origin point, and I don't want to get caught short. Don't worry, I've got a plan. Shouldn't be too far from here. They journey towards another line of trees. This one's still mostly green, only sparse flecks of red visible amongst the leaves. Oh yeah, and the zone is very red. I forgot to mention that the zone is very red. The remains of an old road lead between the conifers, though even the road isn't free from hazard. The scholar almost carelessly steps too far to the left while scribbling down notes. His bag tugged into an unseen crush. He heaves, pulls, stretches, breaks free, though a handful of loose pens fall from his pocket into the gravity well. He grimaces, but no harm done. Here we are. Do you see it? Just above the treetops. Poking above the green was the tip of a colossal structure. Wires and data in steel. It stank of hierarchy, but the zone was reclaiming it, piece by piece. They approach the gatehouse, long abandoned. The escort pays the trespassing warnings no heed and pushes the steel gates open. They grind painfully metal on metal. Fragments of iron-red cotton stick to the tips of the gate, but not close enough to hurt. Oh, this is kind of like the thing in, the title screen. They pace through cautiously until, at last, the tower in all its glory looms above them. It stretches for kilometers long, hundreds of meters up, a latticework of steel and beams and cables. Welcome to Dvorsky Point, folks. I butchered that word. Used to be Judith's Ridge. Not sure what it was for originally. The hierarchy used it as their last little hideout before they stopped pushing into the zone. Stopped trying to make it play by their rules. It'll never play by their rules. It's ugly. It's really horrible. It makes me uncomfortable to look at it for too long. They wander through the metal struts. Try not to look all the way up from the bottom. You'll make your head spin. Okay, but why are we here? This isn't anywhere near where I've paid you to take us. And it seems like a dangerous place to be. If the hierarchy wants to come in and find us, isn't this the first place they'll look? Yes and no. Do you trust me? About as far as I could throw you. But I am stronger than I look. Make of that what you will. Okay, but seriously, there's some useful shit around here. And if I'm right, we can stay sheltered here safely for the night. Just come with me. If I'm right, I'm gonna make the rest of the journey a whole lot easier. The escort beckons, walking off beneath the enormous steel structure. They weave between the rust-covered beams, nimbly sidestepping the alien cotton blossoming across the lower rungs. The other two follow on. Just behind the superstructure, they approach an outbuilding. Windows long since broken and internals gutted and scattered. They tread carefully, the ground strewn with detritus and circuit boards and dying metalwork, and the carcasses of ancient computers that once filled whole rooms. The escort ducks inside through the open door frame and turns their torch on. They scan around, clambering down dust-ridden hallways and steps into a pitch-black basement. Yes, I knew it'd still be here. It's so damn dark in here, I can't see. What is it? Your ticket to the fast lane, sister. I don't feel that explains anything. Let me finish. I just wanted to sound cool. I do sound cool, right? I thought you sounded cool. See? Nerd King gets it. Yes, get on with it. Service access tunnels. If we're lucky, they'll lead straight to the old town. And there's no crushes down there. None of the other surface dangers. Nothing to slow our progress. We can be at your desired destination in a day. All I'm gonna ask is that we stop off overnight here, so as I have some time to scour this place more. There are gonna be other dangers down there, but if you want to get straight to the old town, this is the quickest way. Deal. Sweet. Okay, I'm gonna look around and grab some stuff. If there's anything I left here. Or anything left here. We've got some time to relax, so set up camp. There's gotta be somewhere here that isn't too damp. Uh, we went with the scholar and the escort last time, so I'll go with the doctor this time. The escort clambers up the remains of the stairwell. The building feels gutted, like they're stepping on the skeletal remains. Jutting rods of concrete and metal, but very little else. It feels subversive, like treading on someone's grave. A few dangling cables remain, severed nerves hanging in the wind. Most had already been salvaged for metal. The doctor wanders up after, shining her torch around empty upper floors. Man, this is all so creepy. Enormous stacks of rotted computer equipment still stand around. The ones that hadn't been gutted are still bolted to the floor. Where windows still let in stray strands of light, the rooms seem almost peaceful. Pale blue paint peels from the walls. The escort gingerly paces inside. They pick up a half-mauled circuit board dotted with silicon and copper and silver. They examine it, shake it, then toss it aside. Nothing there worth having. Another keyboard, a circuit breaker, a transistor. Nothing in any of them. Too much decay. The doctor picks up what remains of the ledgers and notes. Most too stained and destroyed to make out, but some still intact. So, Doc, I don't think I ever really asked, what are you here for? Normally, guides have the discretion not to ask compromising questions. True. But I gotta say I'm curious. There's a lot of rumors out there about what's in the center. Hidden secrets, wealth, the illicit things to salvage. The escort nudges a flimsy wooden crate with their foot. It seems solid. They kneel down and grab a screwdriver from their bag to bust the lock. But I get the impression that ain't you. You're here for the room, aren't you? I won't deny it. I thought that much was obvious. It was, but the room's not so straightforward as that. The escort jams the screwdriver into the hinges, shoving with all their might. They give it a sharp kick. It doesn't budge. The room isn't what people want. It's what gives them what they want. What are you really after? Surely you already know. The escort kicks again. The first hinge cracks, with the sound of splintering wood. Almost there. Tell me anyway. I want to hear you say it. The Well of Ascension. Oh, it's the name of the game! Sorta. Ugh. Of course. The escort gets to work on the second hinge. Easier now, it's looser. Now there's more leverage. It's important to me. More than anything. It's a myth, Doc. I know there's a lot of weird stuff in here, but Ascension? That's a fucking myth and we both know it. The doctor's face flushes red, a quiet anger seeping into her words. I'm still trying for it anyway. You could use the room for anything, literally anything else. You could wish for your life to be perfect. You could wish to be a famous celebrity. You could wish for a Nobel Prize in being a doctor or whatever. Instead, you're gonna waste it on something that can't ever happen? Dude, you're smarter than that. There's nothing else in the world that can make the impossible real. Nothing. I've tried everything else. It's a fucking myth, dude. Reminds me of my friend Blake talking to me back when I was convinced that creepypastas were real. Oh, that was a little cringe attack there. Blake, always the responsible one. They'll never accept us. With a sharp jab, the box bursts open. Inside, damaged technology, yes, but a few small vials of intact glass still remain, welded to the circuits. With care, the escort brings out a small open-top bottle. They gently chip at the glass with the screwdriver. Look, I'm not saying this to stop you. I'm glad you came here. Glad you came to the zone. But some things will never happen. And it's okay to be like this. This isn't purgatory or some state of being incomplete. And don't you fucking dare say that it is. That'd hurt me more than anything. The glass cracks, and careful not to waste a single drop, the escort catches the runoff in the bottle. Pure, raw silver, still with pathos, before the hierarchy fucked it. Why would you even want Ascension anyway? I told you at the start you could never go back. The doctor's voice shakes, her anger boiling at a barely contained pressure. Do you think the hierarchy will ever actually lose? What? You think that just because this zone is a wreck that we've got some safe space from them? They won the fucking war, without even firing a shot. You don't even know any history, do you? God, of course not. You weren't even born by the time the war ended. Fuck you, I'm not some kid. Nor am I. This place, this zone, you think this ended up this way because of bombs? Because of some magical disaster that befell the hierarchy? It's not. They wanted it this way. Oh, come on. I'm being serious. They won by consuming. They took their enemy into themselves and made it them. They forced everyone that opposed them to become just like them. And once they were just like them, they became them. Fighting them on their own terms just makes us become what they are. Dialectical fucking fallout. They shoved everything that they weren't, everything that didn't match, into smaller and smaller corners. Like the zone. And I'm tired of fighting. I'm fucking done. What you want out of Ascension isn't what the room will give you. The hierarchy never accepts us, no matter how much we do. I have to try. I have to win. I want to go back and make them change. I have to win the war on my own terms. From within. Without fighting them so hard that I'm just the same as them. I have to try. I don't want to fight you anymore. I'm sorry. The escort and doctor both stand in opposition, both on the verge of tears. The escort's hands are shaking, a few drops of pathos spilled into their skin. Onto their skin. The rush of emotions stings. Okay. Just when it comes to it, at least think about staying. I'd like you to stay. Maybe. I don't know. I promise I'll think about it at least. I guess that's the best I can ask for? I guess so. I'm sorry too. The escort smiles, wiping her face on her sleeve. I'll forgive it. For you. Just this once. Okay, so we've got a tiny bit of backstory. And some very emotionally charged tiny bit of backstory at that. Oh my god. Okay. So there was a war, and they corrupted their enemy. The horizon glints with the shimmer of the red aurora, but there are no more storms through the night. It passes uneventfully. In the early hours, the doctor is again the first to rise. She nudges the escort, their heads still buried in their arms. The escort groans. Is a deal a deal? Ugh. 5 more minutes, please. Then yes, a deal's a deal. God. With dark circles under their eyes, the escort pushes themselves up with dramatic lethargy. They reach into their pocket, grab their vaporizer, scrutinize it against the light, running near empty. They rummage around in their pocket to find the fluid, squirt a small dose of it into the chamber. They glance around, making sure the other two aren't looking. The doctor and scholar are both repacking their bags, distracted at least for the moment. The escort adds 2 droplets of pure silver in, untainted by the world, unaltered by the hierarchy. They inhale, gently at first. Damn, that felt good. Their cells shift, refocus, shift again. They stand up. Alright, let's head out. You guys ready for the tunnels? As ready as I'll ever be. I'm worried, but this seems the best option. The sooner we're on the other side, the better. The scholar picks up his bag and follows on behind the escort. The doctor takes up the rear, scanning behind them, watchful. Oh, okay, that is one creepy tunnel. The escort grips on the metal handle and heaves. The door to the surface tunnel grinds open, then shuts behind them. The 3 turn on their torches, their batteries barely draining past full in the zone's care. The air is still, stale. It smells of wet concrete. Come on, it's this way. The scholar follows on behind. His boots slip on the wet floor, but he just barely keeps his balance. He can't see past the escort as the tunnel closes in. His heart thuds. He should be claustrophobic. He is claustrophobic. His pace falters a little. He hears the doctor behind him. You're okay. You're doing great. And I mean that. Keep going. Just keep going. I've got your back. He keeps walking forward. The tunnels move, twist, and turn. The air is stifling. It feels suffocating. How long have they been going? It feels like they're traipsing in circles. It seems no better than the surface world above. Moss and mold grow on the inside of the tunnel, sucking up so much psychosilver that they glint in the torchlight. The Foucault Geiger counters start to crackle. First the escorts, then the scholars, then the doctors after him. He hears the escort curse under their breath. Shit, fuck, shit. Well, I guess I should have expected this. Worth the risk. Are we sure? The fallout down here is high. It's super high. We're closer to the exit than when we came in. Or at least I think we are. Really not reassuring. The dosage here is seriously dangerous. We'll be exposed for longer if we head back. The more time we're in these tunnels at all, the worse it is. We should keep pushing forward. The scholar casts his torchlight down, seeing several rivulets of glistening silver in the water at his feet. His boots steam. His cells shift. His skin burns uncomfortably. His heart thuds. Isomers reverse. That is an even creepier tunnel. They approach a cascading drain, a hole between one tunnel and another, leading to the city sewers. Silver-stained water gushes out. The counters scream in protest. Okay, I think we're here. The dry tunnel. It's literally a waterfall. Hey, it's a local joke. Normally you gotta swim in this bit. In retrospect, it's not that funny. I'm going in. The doctor clambers through the hole, her coat and bag doused in burning water. She grunts, grits her teeth as she pushes up and through. Her face, her body is drenched. Her skin burns red, the scars on her arms prickle and sting. She swears, gasps, catches her breath. I'm through. I can help you guys up. Her Foucault Geiger counter's alarms blare. She offers her arm down, hanging onto the side of the slippery concrete. We got you. I'll go up after and catch you if you fall. It's not the fall I'm worried about. It's too dangerous to turn back. We need to go. The scholar closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, and climbs up. The doctor's arm grips his and she braces herself, pulling him up and back. The counter screams, his clothes burn, his face burns, his cells burn. The doctor stands as much as she can in front of the flow, shielding him from the downpour of fire. The blood starts to trickle down her arms as her scars tear open. The scholar feels the pain as the skin of his uncovered hand blisters. It burns, it burns, it burns, it burns. It fucking burns. He stumbles into the larger piping, his chest tightening as his lungs cough up dashes of silver. The escort clambers up through the tunnel too. The doctor helps them in, but both their arms are slick with blood. The scholar looks down and sees the red starting to stain through his trousers. Fuck. Shit, there's still too much psycho-silver runoff from the blowout. It should have washed away by now. We have to keep going. The tunnel there leads straight to the city. We could be there in an hour. We could finish this. The doctor staggers, then collapses to the side. She vomits profusely into the water, spatters of blood and silver streaking through. No fucking way. The fallout is too high, even for me. We leave these tunnels now. There's a gate 100 meters that way. We need to leave. The scholar pulls the doctor up by the shoulders, steadying her, but she's too weak. She collapses down on her knees, blood oozing down her hands. She struggles to stand, muscles trembling. No, you can't. You can't do this. Not when we're so close. Come on, damn it. Prof, grab her other side. We gotta get her out of here. Fuck. Please. No. Together they haul the doctor up and out, half carrying, half dragging her to the sewer grating. They pull up and out, and collapse on grass in the daylight outside. The sky is dull, clouded, yet impossibly bright after so long in the dark. They fall onto the side of what remained of a highway. The asphalt is cracked and broken, trees and roots reclaiming what was theirs. The last road to the city. They were still several miles away. The doctor staggers, then falls to her side and vomits again. Damn it. It was a straight run. We could have made it. No, we couldn't. Nothing is ever straightforward. You'd have died. Shitting hell fucking motherfucking shit. This is on me. I'm sorry. The blowout runoff shouldn't last that long. The storms must be getting worse. I should have realized. Fuck. We're out in the open here, but we need to rest. Let's stay with the doctor. I'm gonna go and find shelter. I'll be faster on my own. It's still dangerous out here, though. The closer to the city, the worse it gets. If I'm not back before sunset, you're gonna need to go on without me. God, we'll die on our own here. You need to come back alive. Besides, I've grown to like you, despite it all. Aww. Friendship. Aw, you're too kind, Doc. But those sound suspiciously like last words, and you don't get to die here. The doctor smiles through a grimace, blood still oozing from both arms. Are you sure you want to go on your own? I don't know what to do. Ain't got a choice, Nerd King. And she's not gonna be safe on her own. We're not gonna be able to be that reckless again in the city. Ah, shit. I just hope this works out. Really hope the zone protects me on this one. Ciao. The escort walks the road toward the city, quickly but cautiously, until they can hardly see them through the trees. I didn't want to leave the doctor alone. She's in really rough shape. In the distance, the remnants of the city peek over the treetops. The doctor twists her body to look at them. The scholar kneels down beside her, grabbing bandages from her bag. He searches her medicine pack for chelation agents. Chelation agents? Probably chelation agents. Anything to take away her sickness. There aren't any. They must have fallen into the sewer stream below. Without anything else to use, he sets to work bandaging her up. His work is imprecise but effective. The bleeding stops at least. She looks pale. Fuck. We got so fucking close. And I'm gonna fall here when the end is still in sight? The irony is so bitter. I can taste it. Tastes like blood and acid. God. God fucking hates us, huh? The scholar passes her his water. His canteen is nearly empty. There's barely a day's water left between them. Thank you for what you did. It's all right. No, it's not. I'm mad at you too. The doctor turns back, gazing up at him. A little bit of mirth in her eyes. Well, I must have really fucked up to get you of all people mad. Yeah, you did. We could have made it. I could have made it. She coughs again, blood and silver coming up in her spit. She looks a mess. He can feel the poisoned glow coming from her. Her cells blaze. The radiation eats into her gut as her insides die and reform. Her morphology shifts. Permanently. No, you couldn't. And that's why I'm mad. Because you're smart, and you're strong, and you're a fucking wonderful person. And I wouldn't even be doing this without you. You don't have an excuse to be reckless. You don't get to be self-destructive anymore. It doesn't hurt just you. It hurts me too. Sorry. No, you're not sorry. I can see that look in your eye. You're thinking about standing up and jumping back in that hole, and walking all the way to the room by yourself. God. You're right. And you're right to be mad. I'd be mad. Is it weird to say I'm proud of you for being mad? Quick water, because... Oh. You never get angry at anything. You never let yourself get angry at anything. Even when people hurt you. Even when I hurt you. Maybe I'm changing. Maybe you need to change too. Maybe you're right. Maybe. She tries to shift to move herself to standing, but the lightheadedness hurts and her eyes sting and her stomach lurches and the world burns. She stumbles forward and vomits profusely again, the familiar purging taking hold of her. She steadies her shoulders, holds her hair back, her arms shake. She falls into him, lying still, her head in his lap. She can't help but laugh a little. It comes out as a croak. He strokes her hair. The comfort doesn't take away the pain, but it still feels more important than anything. Maybe I owe you a lot of apologies. No, you just owe yourself some self-respect. I'm sorry for being harsh, but I just really care about you. This hurts to see. I knew you'd never be able to get mad at someone without apologizing for it. But you're right. I'm sorry. I hate this. I hate this body. I hate being like this. I want to become different, better. I want to make sense. I know. But there's a line between becoming something new and actively destroying the old. It's you who I care for, regardless of what form that takes in the future, or what form you are now. You can't become something new if there's nothing left of the old to start with. I know you're right. I'm sorry. I mean it this time. I accept your apology. Even though you've been an idiot. Thank you. They gaze out towards the city skyline together. The sun starts to sink lower on the horizon. Uh-oh. That's not good. Because if we've learned one thing, it's that it's not safe at night. The clouds slowly gather. Rain gently begins to fall, though without a storm. The scholar pulls a tarpaulin. Is that the long form of the word tarp? Is that what tarp is short for? He pulls a tarp from his bag and holds it over them both. Droplets of silver-stained water patter to the ground around them. The doctor sits up a little, pulling herself out of the shower. Oh. Oh. I've wanted to die for a long time, Professor. I thought I'd die doing this. I thought I could at least die saying that I tried. Even if I didn't really try. Even if it was just an excuse. But the closer we get, the more it feels like I can actually live. That there actually is a place for me. Thank you for helping me see it. And thank you for holding my hand this whole way. You always pretended to be the strong one, but you never had to be. I've told you that so often. It was pretend, wasn't it? I'm just glad you're listening now. I'm just glad you put up with me. He feels her relax onto him, for once letting herself be vulnerable, for once letting him be the strong one. He holds her tight as she lets her head fall onto his shoulder. It didn't matter that their bodies were awkward and didn't fit. He strokes her hair as she melts into him, winding her arms around his waist. For just a moment, nothing else mattered. The sinistral seeps into them both. They both realign. Oh, come on! word. Enantiomers. Enantiomers in the rain. Help. With effort and a lot of pain, the escort and scholar help carry the doctor to shelter. She spends the night vomiting, the skin of her face blistering as the radiation pierces her body. She barely sleeps. She can feel her insides squirming, the pain lancing through her breast as her insides tear up and reform. The healing is faster here, but it brings on the pain. She swallows the last analgesics? Word? Help. Analgesics, I'm gonna guess. She has in her pack, praying for reprieve. The morning comes. The sunlight is painful on her burns. She glances at the Foucault Geiger counter. She presses the little plastic buttons, estimating her total dosage. 7.3 barisieverts? Fatal within a few days. Would her sinestral recovery in the zone be enough to keep her alive? She doubts it. She is dying. But she'd already been dying anyway. Only a miracle was going to save her. But now they're so close. She can feel it like static on her fingertips. The smell of ozone in the air. The room isn't far now. The escort and scholar get up before her. Their own burns and wounds knitting over, but not fully recovered. The escort looks out the window, judging the distance. Quick water. Should not have done that quick water. How do I choke on water? It's only a mile to the city, maybe 2. The room is in there. I think that's a good place to end it on. Because it's been a bit. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see the next and possibly final part of this when it comes out, hit the subscribe button down below. If you want to watch me stream over on Twitch, the link is in the description. Thank you for watching. This was heavy. This is Damon from Transformed Gaming, signing off.